Hello there, Mr. Bradley. My name is Elizabeth Merrett, and I'm the registered dietitian here. How's your day going so far?
It's going pretty well. Thanks for asking.
Glad to hear it. So, tell me a little bit about yourself and your family and what you do.
Well, I'm a high school math teacher. I have a beautiful wife and two children. I enjoy cooking a lot. I don't really know what else to say. My favorite movie is Good Will Hunting.
That is a good one. Probably up there on my top 10 as well. Now, tell me what brings you in today.
Well, mainly I need to lose weight. I've tried and failed so many times. I just want to succeed just this once. I want to
Mhm.
prove it to myself.
That's really good to hear. I'm thrilled that you came in here with a goal in your mind. That will be super helpful for me. Do you know what your current height and weight are?
Last time at the doc, he told me I was 5'10", 215 pounds.
Okay. And do you mind if I ask about weight changes that you've had that, like, within the last couple years?
No, that's fine. I was quite active in college. Best shape of my life, actually, 170 pounds. You can ask my wife, she'll attest to that. Although, once I landed my first teaching job in 1996, working out and exercising became less of a priority until it actually became non existent in my life, and I slowly began to see the weight come on.
Yeah, I understand. And you're definitely not alone in this. I've heard it said many times life is busy and it's tough to fit everything in. Now, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your chart here. What can you tell me about your family history?
Well, I went to the doctor initially to appease the old woman. She was worried about my health, seeing as my father died of a heart attack a couple years back, and both my brothers have had heart attacks within the last year as well. One of my brothers and one of my sisters have high cholesterol, and both my parents and all my grandparents have had problems with cholesterol as well. Ever since my last birthday, I never worried much about my family history, but now it scares me a bit, especially naming it all off just like I did.
Yeah, family history can play a big role in increasing one's risk for a disease. However, there are lifestyle changes that we can talk about to lower your risk for cardiovascular problems and to keep that cholesterol a little lower. So far, you're in good shape though. I see that all your lab values are within the normal range, except for your body mass index. So I can see that it's at 30.8, and this classifies you as obese. Do you have any idea why that might be?
Well, I don't know. I don't eat terribly, but I'm sure there are some places I could improve.
Okay. And what do you mean exactly by that statement? Can you give me an example of what a normal day would look like for you with food?
Well, I don't normally eat breakfast. I just don't really have time for it. I'll drink a cup of coffee though, with a couple spoonfuls of sugar in it.
Hmm. Okay. And what's next throughout the day? Do you have a snack before lunch?
Oh no, no snack. I stay pretty busy teaching and don't have very much time for a snack, but for lunch I almost 100% of the time eat a sandwich with my wife that my wife made me the night before. Usually egg salad, chicken salad, roast beef, or salami.
Okay. And what type of bread do you normally use?
We switch up between rye, whole wheat, occasionally the French bread.
And the condiments. What do you put on your deli sandwiches?
Definitely mustard, mayo, lettuce, and always a tomato.
Okay. And what do you do next? A snack?
No, no, no. I actually rarely eat snacks because dinner is my favorite meal of the day, so I tend to save most of my calories for that meal. After I get home from work, I pretty much go straight to the kitchen to start working on my five-course meal for me and my family. I stick pretty true to my Italian roots. We start with an olive oil and vinegar tossed salad, then comes the pasta. The variety always depends on my mood of the day. Could be spaghetti, fettuccine, or another form. It's topped with a tomato sauce or a cheese sauce. If it's tomato, it gets grated cheese. If it's a cheese sauce, I usually like heavy whipping cream. Old family secret. On top of the cheese goes more cheese, such as mozzarella, parmesan, or others. Meats vary between beef, veal, chicken, or shellfish. I usually saute up some type of vegetable, whether eggplant, squash, artichoke hearts, asparagus, or beets. I always use the large helping of onions, garlic, bell peppers, celery, and parsley. We always have buttery, cheesy garlic bread on the side, of course.
I can definitely tell you love your Italian cooking. And I love your enthusiasm for the food and different ways you prepare your items. Sounds like you have a lot of fun in the kitchen.
Oh, I do. I could talk your ear off, let me tell you.
Okay, well, we're definitely getting somewhere. Now, I do have a couple more questions for you about your diet. What do you normally drink at your meals?
I'm pretty good about drinking water throughout the day, and when I get home, I definitely like to enjoy several glasses of fine Italian wine each night to
Very
complement
cool.
the meal. Oh, and I forgot to mention the best part, 1 cup of pistachio ice cream or an Italian pastry to finish off the evening.
Okay, thank you. And I guess my main concern, just from what we've discussed, is your excessive energy intake, especially at dinner time, and your lack of physical activity throughout the day. Both of these have probably led to that weight gain that you're talking about, putting you in the obese class level 1.
So, what's that mean for me? What do I do next?
Well, you came here telling me that your overall goal was to lose weight, correct?
Yeah, I would love to lose 45 pounds and be back to the weight I was in college.
Okay, great. If I was to ask you what stage of change you are currently in, what would you say? Pre-contemplation is, I guess I'll show you on this piece of paper. It kind of helps to visualize it. Pre-contemplation is the stage where you are not thinking too seriously about it, but you're interested. Contemplation is the stage where you are aware of the consequences of your habits and you spend time thinking about it, although you can't really consider the possibility of change. Now, preparation is the stage where you have or shortly will make a commitment to change.
Well, I would definitely say I'm in the preparation phase. I'm here, aren't I? I'm committed to meeting with you weekly for the next 10 weeks.
That's great. I was hoping you would say that. Now let's move on and talk about your physical activity. How would you feel about adding a 30-minute walk 5 times per week?
Well, I suppose the weather has been nice.
Do you think your wife and kids would go on a walk with you around town?
I know my wife would. I might have to think of a way to persuade the kids, but it's definitely doable.
Okay, well, that's great. Now, do you mind if we go back to your dietary recall and see if we can figure out some ways to cut back on calories there?
Not at all.
Okay. Are there any areas that you notice could use some attention while you were listing off your different foods?
Well, definitely my portion sizes for my evening meal.
Yeah, that's a good thought. How willing would you say you are to decrease your portion sizes at dinner?
Oh, I don't know. In theory, it sounds pretty good, but it's hard to say no when the food I labored over for hours is right there in front of me?
I understand what you're saying. If the food's, I guess what you're saying is if the food is right in front of you, it would be easier to stick. If the food wasn't right in front of you, it would be easier to stick to a smaller portion?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So, what are some practical things you could do to keep yourself from going back up or grabbing seconds?
Hmm. I suppose I'm tempted because the food is right there in front of me, like I said. Maybe if I pre-portioned all the plates and whatever food is left over is put directly in Tupperware and goes into the fridge after it's cooled, I wouldn't be so tempted to eat so much.
That is a fantastic idea. I definitely think it would help. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not confident at all, 10 being confident, which number would you best describe your confidence to put away leftovers before you begin your evening meal?
I suppose I would say I'm 8 or 9. I can definitely ask my wife to keep me accountable too.
That's a wonderful idea. An 8 is high, and that shows you have strong interest. I also want to talk to you a bit about breakfast. What do you know about it?
I guess I've heard it's the most important meal of the day. Is that really true though?
It is, especially as you're trying to lose weight. Every night, your body goes into fasting as you go without food for 7 to 9 hours, or however long you sleep. This causes your metabolism to slow a little so that you can save your energy. It's important to jumpstart that metabolism at the beginning of the day with breakfast, giving your body the fuel it needs. Do you think this is something you're willing to start doing?
Maybe. I'm more than capable of getting up early, but I don't know what would be quick enough.
Do you like oatmeal?
Yeah, as long as there's something in it though.
That's perfect. There's many pre-portioned oatmeal packets in stores with lots of different flavors, and I think you should try them. I'll show you some brands later that would be healthier options for you.
Okay, I'll do that. Sounds easy enough.
Great. So let me recap quickly what we just have discussed so far. You're unhappy with your current weight and you're willing to make a few small changes to your lifestyle habits in order to start losing weight. You would like to start walking 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week with your family. You would like to limit your portion sizes by putting your leftovers away before you sit down to eat. Lastly, you want to start eating instant oatmeal packets for breakfast. Did I cover it all?
Sounds good to me. Wow, I can't believe how painless this has been. I still have to get my Italian dinners I still have my Italian dinners that I get to look forward to every day.
Of course, it's always best to focus on just a few things at a time to keep it from becoming overwhelming. Now, let's talk about how we will monitor these goals that you've created for yourself in the next couple weeks.
Well, I'm hoping we can check my weight loss weekly, maybe. How many pounds do you think I should be losing?
We usually aim for about 1 to 2 pounds per week. So every week you come in, we will start by weighing you and taking your waist circumference. How would you feel about keeping a food and exercise journal?
Sounds like a plan. I think I could probably do that. Having to write everything down in theory may help me to not eat as much and will help me remember to exercise.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I will review that journal. We actually will review that journal weekly. I'll just ask that you be as specific and accurate with the foods you're eating as possible. Try to measure them out if you can. For the future, we will evaluate your progress, and as you begin to lose more weight, we will continue to look at your eating habits and exercise routine and just make some few small adjustments to put you forward.
Well, this all sounds pretty great. I can't wait to talk to my wife about it and start the family on track to a healthier lifestyle.
That's great. Thank you for coming in, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of the beautiful afternoon.
You do the same. Thanks.
Mm.